one of the aspects when you're talking about people who are now teenagers, or is that the words they use to communicate even to each other is garden tools, right?
Yeah.
Calling each other that.
Yeah.
And it's very normal. Very normal.
Okay, this is new to me.
Yeah, so we'll translate this for you later, but everybody who knows, right? So they use this like they would call it, they're calling their friends that.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
They're calling their friends that. And so...
It took me a minute.
Yeah. So is there any, like, how is that remedied? Or is that something to be rectified? Or, I mean, obviously something to be rectified, but is that something that they would become more sensitive to by learning Surat Al-Nūr, for example?
AlMaghrib Institute presents Q&A with Kamal al-Mekki.
I mean, I would hope so. I don't have anything definitive to tell you that, yeah, there was a sister who used to call her friend this word, and then after the class...
It's so prevalent, it's actually amazing for me to watch. I'm like...
How they refer to each other like that. And you're not talking about non-Muslims either.
No, I'm talking about Muslims.
It's more shocking when it's Muslims, right?
Yeah, it's Muslims, it's Muslim hijabis.
Yeah.
Right?
Using these terms.
And it's Muslim brothers, obviously, calling girls that. And it's
real?
Yeah, of course. It doesn't. This is normal, like, young vernacular now.
So we cover a section on that.
Well, some dude's gonna get punched in the face, man.
Only you, but the point is that it's lost its bite. It doesn't have bite anymore. This is literally people, like, this is the way people describe each other. Like, this is how you would call your girlfriend. She's your, that's how people refer to each other like that. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is to own everything that could have possibly be used to be slanderous.
So, okay, I see what you're saying.
Anything that could have been used to be insulting is to fully own it.
So So I think what you're referring to in PR is about owning your weaknesses, right? In PR, like somebody would be like, famous business personality cusses a lot, and he's like, yeah, I cuss. That's me. That's my personality. That's who I am. You don't like it?
Being authentically myself.
Exactly. They're being authentic. Right?
But how does that affect the very severe concept of slander in Islam, right? So the idea of qadh, the idea of actual slander, where a person would get 80 lashes and all that type of stuff. When these types of accusations have just become so prevalent, they're not even accusations anymore.
Well, adding on that, like, there are no consequences today.
Yeah, there aren't. And so that's one of the things when I'm introducing the class, I say one of the important things about this class is that we reset and recalibrate that in
morality
our mind.
almost.
Yeah, because we got so used to it that, I watch a movie and the central theme was this zina, or a sitcom, and today's episode was so and so accidentally committed zina with this girl, and they're trying to hide it from the rest of the gang, and hilarity ensues, and I'm just sitting there laughing about a zina with a laugh track, which is pathetic, and I'm laughing with
and
a
you're
laugh
saying
track.
I love these characters, I love them.
And then we have the hadith of changing the munkar with your hand, then your tongue, and then if you can't, with your heart, and that's the weakest of iman. So I always tell people, if the weakest of iman is to hate something, a sin, with your heart, how do I classify laughing at a sin? Jokes about zina, jokes about adultery, and so it's recalibrating that. I always tell people, like, don't share jokes about adultery and zina, and then don't accept. Look at the seriousness of accusing someone of zina, and how in court versus let's say in an Islamic court or a Muslim court, you insult someone or accuse someone of zina versus someone who slapped someone in the face. And this was a true story that happened where...
Well, one is assault.
Huh?
One is assault.
Yeah. So this was a true story that happened in Sudan, where in the old days, this one guy, respectable guy, some hoodlum slapped him in the face in front of everyone. So he was very offended. So when he went to court, the judge would either say, slap him back, same hardness, or 2, you pay him a fine. So when he went to court, the judge made him pay a fine, and it wasn't, he felt...
He wasn't satiated.
Yeah, at all. Like, this hoodlum slaps me in front of everyone, and I have my place in society, and this guy, and all he gets is like $5 fine. So when they left the courtroom, the guy gave him 10. So the guy just slapped him back and said, I don't have any change. That's a true story, by the way. So, but like here, hit him back or pay a fine. Whereas if someone comes and accuses a chaste woman of zina, the judge is going to say, do you have 3 witnesses? No. Then he's going to get 100 lashes on his, or stripes on his back.
You mean 80 lashes?
Huh?
80.
100 جلدة.
No, it's 80.
80 for the, sorry.
For slander, yeah.
For the slander, yes. For the zina, it would be 100. And I keep using the words
Lashes.
stripes.
Yeah.
And in the course, I explain why I use stripes and not lashes, because
I mean, you explained it in the class, but even then, it's like every time you say stripes, the image of a t-shirt keeps coming in my mind.
yeah,
It's like he's gonna get 80 t-shirts.
there's nothing I could say that sounds good, because we don't have a word for it. Because lashes, huh?
Flogging.
Yeah, but even with flogging,
The flogger that breaks the skin, you bleed.
That's true.
Lashes.
I mean,
you
flogging
imagine,
is what you got, what Denzel got in Glory.
Yeah, that's kind of severe.
Yeah,
and you imagine like an Indiana Jones whip where the guy flings it back and whoosh.
yeah,
You
that's
know?
not gonna kill a person.
Yeah, but it's, and if you've ever seen it, it's basically a guy with a fresh branch, and you get tapped. Tap,
So,
tap, tap, tap,
In
tap,
South
like
Asian
that.
culture, the equivalent of that is a chadi. It's basically, so we have 2 forms of disciplining children. You've got the danda, or the lathi, which is the equivalent of a broomstick,
Okay.
right? Which is like, 5 feet long, 6 feet long, and and you got long reach with that. And the other one is a chadi, which is like a twig, but a little bit more than a twig, right? It might be this long, and you'll find Molanas, right? The Quran teachers and these guys running around with it. And if you make a mistake in recitation,
So how is the swing? Did they like reach
no,
back?
it's like this.
Just like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like it's the kind of
Doesn't
a
really
hit.
hurt.
Of course it hurts, right?
But it stings. It doesn't
It
break
stings.
the skin.
Right. It
right?
stings, right? It's like ow, right? Like that kind of thing. As opposed to like, oh my God, like it doesn't bruise,
Yeah.
right?
No internal bleeding. No.
And
doesn't
that's
break-
and that's the
yeah.
key. That's the point of it, is that the mullah can beat you as much as he wants, but it won't bruise, right? Unfortunately, though, the culture, like the conditioning, is that this is the treatment of people who are learning Quran.
Yeah.
And the disclaimer is, of course, none of us approve of that whatsoever.
Right.
Right.
But I think what you're trying to communicate, the actual legal court-sanctioned punishment for slander, is a chari.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
okay.
almost sounds comical.
Let me put it this way. Yeah, that is true. People imagine something draconian and brutal and barbaric, and like if you saw it. By the way, I got this story for you. This is a true story. One of my friends used to teach this regular class at the prison. I may say the story in the class, I don't remember, but he said one day I asked people in the class, and they had Muslims and non-Muslims. I said, how many of you, if you're here for stealing, would rather have your hand cut and be with your family tomorrow than remain in jail? Just take a guess how many people put their hands up.
It depends on how long they're in jail, but I would imagine the majority.
100%. There was not a single person who
What
didn't even
crowd
have
was
his
this?
hand up. This was in prison. Some prisoners.
In prison.
He's teaching the
Okay.
class, and he said, how many of you would rather...
look at the jail sentences here.
Yeah.
25 years, 30
And-
years
and
of your life.
they
It's
are
horrible.
racially
So
motivated
you're
too.
saying ours is draconian and barbaric,
But your
and the
people
ones in your in your merciful system want our system. Anyways, I'm not, of course, advocating cutting anything, but what I'm saying, and I don't mean to like toot or praise the class, but there's no way you get through the verses of li'an and how Allah Azza wa Jalla defends Aisha and the language through which Allah defends Aisha, and the ruling on slander, and then you're gonna think that you can casually call people this word or that word. So hopefully, again, recalibrating is very, very important.